As tensions escalate between Iran on one side and the United States together with Israel on the other, a question is increasingly being asked around the world. Could Iran actually win such a war? At first glance, the answer might seem obvious. The United States has the most powerful military in the world, supported by advanced technology, global bases, and strong allies. But wars are rarely decided by military might. In this video, we will discuss the military balance between the sides, the role of US allies and European powers, Iran's missile and drone capabilities, the strategic geography of the region, the economic consequences already unfolding, and most importantly, what victory might actually mean for each side. Because in modern wars, winning does not always mean the same thing for everyone involved. From a pure military perspective, the United States and Israel have enormous advantages. The United States operates aircraft carriers capable of projecting power anywhere in the world, stealthy aircraft and long-range bombers, advanced intelligence and surveillance systems, and a network of military bases across the Middle East. Israel also possesses one of the most advanced militaries in the region. It has highly capable air force, advanced missile defense systems such as Iron Dome and Arrow, and extensive experience in regional conflict. But the United States does not stand alone in such a conflict. Even if some countries do not directly join combat operations, the United States is supported by a network of allies. In recent developments, the United Kingdom has allowed the United States to use its airspace and military facilities, while also deploying additional defense platforms to the region. France has taken similar steps, reinforcing its presence and signaling readiness to support regional stability. Many European countries do not necessarily agree with the way the conflict started. However, they are unlikely to remain completely neutral if the war escalates. Instead, they may provide intelligence support, logistical assistance, defensive systems against Iranian missiles, and protection for military bases and shipping routes. In addition, several Gulf states host US military bases. These bases are critical for American operations in the region. If Iran were to target them, the defensive capabilities of Allied forces could become a decisive factor. But even with these advantages, there are significant challenges. Iran is not Iraq in 2003, nor is it Afghanistan in 2001. Iran is a large country with complex terrain that includes mountains, deserts, and vast distances. Military analysts often emphasize that geography alone can make large-scale military campaigns extremely difficult. But geography is only part of the equation. Over the last 2 decades, Iran has invested heavily in asymmetric warfare capabilities. Instead of trying to match the United States in conventional military power, Iran has focused on areas where it can impose significant costs. These include large numbers of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and increasingly sophisticated drones. Many of these drones are relatively inexpensive compared to the advanced missile interceptors used to shoot them down. This creates a strategic dynamic sometimes described as cost imbalance. If large numbers of drones and missiles are launched simultaneously, defending against them can become extremely expensive. Over time, this can place significant pressure on even the most advanced military systems. This does not necessarily mean Iran will defeat the United States militarily, but it does suggest that the cost of war could become very high for all sides involved. At this point, we must ask a deeper question. What would victory actually mean in this war? For the United States and Israel, victory might include objectives such as preventing Iran from advancing its nuclear program, severely degrading Iran's missile capabilities, weakening Iran's influence across the Middle East. These are ambitious goals, but for Iran, victory could mean something much simpler. For Iran, victory may simply mean maintaining the current government, preserving its military deterrence, and continuing to resist external pressure. In other words, Iran might consider the war a success if it survives the conflict without losing its core strategic capabilities. History shows that these kinds of asymmetric definitions of victory can shape how wars unfold. There are several historical examples where stronger military powers struggle to achieve decisive outcomes. In Vietnam, the United States had overwhelming military superiority, yet the war ended without the strategic outcome Washington had initially sought. In Afghanistan, the United States fought for over 20 years before withdrawing. In Iraq, the initial military campaign was swift, but the aftermath proved far more complicated. These examples highlight an important lesson. Winning the first battles of a war is not the same as winning the war itself. Another major factor in this conflict is already becoming visible: the global economy. The Middle East remains one of the most important energy regions in the world. A significant portion of global oil shipment passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but crucial maritime corridor. If tensions disrupt this route, the consequences could ripple across the global economy. In fact, markets are already reacting. Oil prices have been rising sharply. Diesel, gasoline, and other energy products are becoming more expensive in many parts of the world. Higher energy prices can affect transportation, food production, manufacturing, and overall economic stability. In other words, even countries far from the battlefield may feel the effects of this conflict. So, we return to the original question: could Iran actually win this war? The answer depends largely on how victory is defined. If victory means overwhelming military dominance, the United States and its allies hold clear advantages. But if victory means surviving a long and costly conflict, the outcome becomes far less predictable. In many modern wars, the decisive factor is not simply military mighty, it's endurance. In the end, the conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel is not just about weapons or armies. It's about strategy, alliances, geography, and political will. And as history repeatedly shows, wars between powerful nations rarely unfold exactly as expected. So the question remains open. Could Iran win such a war? The answer may ultimately depend on one crucial factor: how long the conflict lasts and how much each side is willing to endure.